playing, actually I started playing baseball when I was 8 years old with the boys, and my mom had to coax me into switching over to softball with the girls, I think when I was 10 to 12 years old, and played competitive from there until I graduated high school.
Third base, holy cow. I've watched softball games, and you're only about 10 feet from the bat. I mean, you got to be a little crazy to play third base.
Some people would probably say I'm crazy. I actually played first base my whole career. Never played a pitch or an inning at third base growing up. And when Coach Gemeinhard recruited me, I knew there was a possibility that I'd get switched over. And when I came here, I never played a pitch at first base. So played third base every game, and I loved it. I was in the game, involved in all the plays, and had to be on your toes every time.
What's your secret?
Just hard work. Hard work is what it was. I remember being little. We were fortunate enough that we had a batting cage in our backyard in Arizona, and I remember going out there with me and my brother, my dad, my mom would go out there too, and middle of the heat in Arizona, and we took batting practice. You know, we hit 200, 300 balls every day. I don't know how many windows we broke in the house, you know, because our net would get eaten up from the sun. But, you know, I give a lot of credit to my dad. You know, he worked with me quite a bit. And, you know, if I got into a slump or anything, he was the first one I called, just because he knew my swing more than anybody. I would say it's hard work, it's dedication. You know, just wanting to make yourself better as an athlete, and my dad always told me, you know, you have to take pride in what you do, and he's, you know, his pride would be personal responsibilities and daily efforts, you know, so that's what I kind of, you know, modeled myself on, you know, just to make sure that I was doing everything I could do to make the team better, or whatever I could do to help the team out.
And I've heard you say, or someone said you said, that you weren't going to push them into basketball, but be honest with us. Would that be okay?
Well, really all three. I mean, I've got the twin girls and then my little boy. I mean, it would probably be a lie to say that I don't want them to play. I mean, I hope they all three play, but I feel like growing up, my parents did a really good job of exposing me to a lot of different things. I was in rodeo, I was in 4-H, I was in, you know, I had a dab at cross country, track, basketball. I feel like if they could get me there and I worked hard, they helped me do it. So I feel like that's my job as a parent to, if they have an interest, teach them to work hard and, you know, take them those places that they need to be to excel at it.
Did you know you were fast?
Ron, what happened that one day I came off the track and field at Swanica High School in Long Island, New York. My high school coach was named Jim Fairley. You should know who he is, Big Jim. He said, "Boy, I'll make a champion out of you one day." What do you mean? I don't like track and field. I'm scared of you because you're too mean to people. He said, "But you'll be a champion one day." So I looked at the guys and I could beat him. No problem at all. I can beat him also. So they ran 24 flats and 200 meters. I ran 22.9. So they put their shoes on. We were on track and field. I ran on track and field. Next year I became champion at 9.7, 20.9. I got a scholarship for a state. I already knew what I was going to do. I knew because he was present every day to me. You're going to Emporia State. So all those letters you get from the different colleges, tear them up. Go in there.
As a coach, I always thought that cross-country people were just a little bit different breed of cat. Now, I mean that in a positive way. But I think you just got to be different. You're out there running and running and running. It's hurting. Tell me about that. And where did you actually start with the inspiration to be a runner?
Well, I don't know. The inspiration to be a runner, I have people that inspired me. I don't think there was, I would never have been a runner had it not been for some very dedicated people, coaches, high school coach, Fran Welch here, who, I don't want to put down any coach here, but Fran Welch was the top. And I know you coaches are good, but you got a long ways to go for Fran Welch. And well, I'm going to go back just a little bit further. It's difficult for me to feel as an honoree, and I really appreciate this. But I was in the right place at the right time, circumstances. To be honored like this, I had to have, first of all, the DNA to do it. I had to have people that believed in me, which they did, and I didn't believe in myself, and they forced me to. And I had to have teammates that were absolutely exceptional.
Well, one of the things that got me out of it is Bobby and I actually went to the same high school, and when he was a senior, I was a freshman. It started out when we were in high school, and then our coach sent us out on a trail run. I had no idea where I was going, and a group of us all went out, and Bobby was leading the group, and one by one, the guys started dropping off. And because I had no idea where I was going, I was just hanging on to his heels. And when he got out here, then he eventually told Coach Sullivan that, this is a guy that he wanted to get out. So Bobby got me out here. And when we got to the college here, it was pretty much the same thing. I was, a freshman, he was a senior, and he was kind of leading me on. And, I had, we had great teammates. These guys, they taught me how to train, they taught me how to race, and I think one of the most important things, they taught me how to be successful in the classroom. And, from the group was all together, that just held us together. And then, of course, the one thing I feel like we should kind of mention too, even though he's no longer here with us, was Dr. Baxter. I mean, he just held us all together. I mean, he must have treated so many cases of shin splints that, he was an expert on it. But he was a big part of our team being successful.
It's great to be back. My coach Brandon coming back, my two high school coaches. And it brings back all the feelings, Emporia State. I live close, so I get up around and, I see some of the athletics still, but it's always great to be back and feel like you are a Hornet again.
I mean, it's a pleasure. It's an honor, and my time here was fun. I had a blast. Emporia State was, it's always holds a dear place in my heart just because my parents both went here. And it just, I met my wife here, so it just kind of etches everything in stone, and it was the campus life, the whole thing was just so much fun when I was here, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
This is probably one of the greatest sports honors I've ever had, or it is the #1 sports honor I've ever had. And I want to thank the people in Kansas for being very hospitable to me, and I enjoyed my 5 years out here, and I had a graduate assistantship, and I met some very fine people.